So good morning and thank you for coming or attending this session, this parallel session. I hope we accomplish your expectations to attend this session. We have prepared an agenda. We are going to speed up the process because we are very short of time. So we will try to fit to the time we have now, which is 30 minutes. In the agenda, we have prepared a first point because we think that it's important to contextualize the information we are going to receive from your feedbacks or suggestions or contributions during the session. So for us, it was quite important to know which is the sector you are representing, which is your job position, and which is the purpose for your attendance in this training session. So we are going to answer these questions through Menti. Okay, Adrian, when you want.
Yes, thank you. Just 1 second. Maybe if you take a look at my screen, you can already see the code. Otherwise, I also put a link in the chat. I hope this works if you use this link to everybody who's here and then answer the question you find there.
Yeah.
And otherwise, you can also go to menti.com and use the code, but I can't see the code because I'm sharing the screen and the sign is just above the code.
For those attendants that are not so engaged with the Spire-Sais, as Tony has explained, there are many sectors that are participating in this project, and for us it's quite relevant to know which sectors you are representing in order to, as I told you before, to contextualize. So here we have water, we have steel industry. For us, it's quite important to know the kind of sector, because under A.Spire there are many sectors that are within Spire-Sais, cement, chemical, steel, minerals, ceramics, and water, non-ferrous minerals, and I think the last one is pulp and paper that has joined recently to this group. So here, okay, I think we can move on. We have only received five. Yeah.
All right, so you want to move on to the next question?
Yes, I think, Félix, if you can.
I think we also managed to save the results. Then.
Yeah.
Should I share the next question, or do you want to move on with something else?
No. We are going to go on with the presentation of the task that we have developed for this.
Okay, perfect. So I'll stop the screen sharing. Thank you.
I will share Irina my screen, and in this way you will see the presentation.
Okay. So for everybody, the presentation is going to be held by Anna and me. We work in the Ceramic Technology Institute, and besides us, Félix from Sidenor, which is a steel plant in Spain. We will do the presentations because we have lead and co-lead this task within Spire-Sais project. So for the agenda for today, we are going to explain in more detail what Félix has presented before regarding industrial skills identification. And when we finish, we will open, or we will send some questions, some open questions to debate about the content that we have developed, and we will try to dynamize and obtain your feedbacks or suggestions for the work we have done and how we can improve the work that is left under these tags. Next slide, please, Félix. Next, okay. Here, as Félix has explained before, the task that we have we established for this task were to identify skills, knowledge, and experience to adopt energy efficiency and industrial symbiosis in daily work. And this is not the only goal. We as well want to include some skill, knowledge, and experience gaps in terms of industrial symbiosis and energy efficiency in training programs and recruitment process. Next slide, please. To do so, we have developed and we have performed many tasks. We have defined the skills needs. We are focusing in the first part, we have focusing in current skills needs, but we are going to take into account future needs in order to redefine or to adjust the professional profiles. For that, we have done a current situation analysis. We have done a literature review about future skill studies. We identified job profile and skills needs to identify the gaps. And we are working to develop a database. With all the information we are going to gather from this task, we are going to to give some recommendations for the European blueprint, okay, regarding the implementation of these new skills required. Next slide, please, Félix. Okay, how we have managed, because one challenging aspect within Spire-Sais was that there are many partners representing different sectors with different configurations, different processes or operational processes. So we try to, in order to obtain generic information that cover all situations, we propose a step-by-step approach for this task. Here in the slide, you can see we have divided the task in 5 main steps. The first one is to obtain the job profile related to IS and EE and Spire sectors. We have crossed this information with ESCO database in the step 2. We have generated, and we are working on that, of professional role profiles description templates. We are going to generate a questionnaire to obtain feedbacks from the industry in order to know which are the most demanded skills. And the last step is, with all these skills, we are going to identify the learning outcomes to cover all these gaps. Next slides, please. Here is much more or less the same. So Félix, let's go to the next slide in order to speed up the presentation, please. Here is what Félix has explained regarding step 1, all the information that we have gathered. We started with a literature review about the studies. In order to know a little bit about the Spire sectors within Spire-Sais, we have compiled some information about facts and figures and the situation regarding key environmental issues for each sector. We have worked during the last 2 years to obtain a operational flow chart for the different sectors. And we have tried to identify from this flow chart which were the job positions related to IS and EE. And we have tried to justify in order to give some tips and hints if anyone wants to do the same, just to know which kind of criteria we have applied. We have validated all this assessment and all this information. We created a job profiles matrix with the different sectors, and at the end we have worked with just one, with a generic one. And then we have finished with the skills classification. Next slide, please, Félix. Here you have what you can find in Confluence or in our webpage about the facts and figures for each Spire sectors. We try just to give a piece of information about all of them. Next slide, please. Now I will try to explain you what we've been doing in each sector. Of course, we have not covered all sectors, but I think at the end we have worked with the cement sector, steel, the water sector, ceramics, chemical, minerals sector. So I think we have a good representation about the situation across all Spire-Sais projects. Here in this slide, you can see how we have managed to obtain what we've been doing to obtain this flow chart for each sector, and in detail for the ceramic sector. First of all, at the beginning, with the collaboration of industrial partners and companies, we develop an operational flow chart for the ceramic industry. You have to think that under each sector we could have different subsectors. So here we work for the Ceramic-Sais sectors concretely. Then when we have this flow chart with all the job positions, we select those job profiles that were related with IS and energy efficiency. Based to know what was the scope, first of all, was very important to define what we consider under Spire-Sais as industrial symbiosis and energy efficiency. When we select these job profiles, we describe why we have choose these job profiles, which are the tasks in order to justify this selection. We compile all this information for all the sectors, and then what we did was to share the information compiled with business associations at national level, and we validate the information through the Ceramuni, which is the European Business Association for the ceramics products, in order to obtain a robust information and enough representativeness of these job profiles selected that currently are related to energy efficiency and industrial symbiosis. Next slide, please. Here is the result that we have obtained for every sector that we've been working. We have drawn this flow chart and job functions. This is the example for the ceramic sectors, but we have the same for the steel, for the cement, for the water. We have identified, for example, in this case, job positions that are linked to industrial symbiosis in blue. We have considered not only technical part of the flow chart of the company, but we have included as well people from business or management or other areas. We have as well identified positions linked to energy efficiency and those positions that can be linked for both industrial symbiosis and energy efficiency. And for those cases, we have some explanations in order to understand what is this selection. And these have been done for every sector that we've been working with. And at the end, we have tried to compile all these flow charts, and we have created just one flow chart for all the Spire-Sais sectors that are included in Spire-Sais. Please, Félix, next one, and I give the floor to you, and you keep going with the step 2.
Thank you, Irina. As Irina mentioned, and you see in the flow chart before, that has been done for all the sectors involved in Spire, and you can imagine that the number of job profiles that we had to deal with, it is a huge number of job profiles. In order to simplify, what we start doing is to make a relation between the job profile selection and the ESCO occupations. Why? To simplify, because with the ESCO occupations, what we want is to make equivalences with the job profile of all the Spire sectors. Well, that has been done, and as a result, as I mentioned in the introduction conference, we have finally obtained a cross-sectoral generic job profiles list that is split in the management level, that is also operational level, production area, functional areas, and management skills, operator skills. And these job profiles, generic job profiles, represent mainly the job profiles of all the Spire sectors that we have analyzed. After that, we done also the skill selection. I have mentioned it also before in the managerial management and operator level that are technological, individual, and personal, and in the management level that are related with the regulatory and business related skills. Well, with all this information, we are trying, as I mentioned before, to standardize the job profiles of the sectors, taking in mind the ESCO occupations. Well, to do that, we are developing now a template, a professional role profiles description template that where we will, using ESCO database, we will make the description of the job profiles that we saw before. That is an example. That is an example for a maintenance and repair operator, the refractory bricklayer. And we will describe the mission, the current and the future tasks, the equivalent profiles in the different sectors. And of course, we will mention also the skills, technological skills, industrial energy symbiosis skills, energy efficiency skills, transversal skills. And we will describe the current level and the future level. Well, in order to know which the future level will be, we will develop a skills assessment and foresight questionnaire with the aim to find the most relevant skill needs and the most outstanding skill gaps for each profile hierarchical group. Okay. This skill assessment survey is based on the professional role profile description that will be an online questionnaire on the future development of skills requirements and the relevance of the key technologies within the jobs in the scope of industrial symbiosis and energy efficiency. And the size skill classification will be done with 5 current future proficiency levels. Well, we have to define the period of the survey, but that will be in 2022. And also we have to define the participants. But of course, our intention is that all the participants came mainly from the industry. And for the next task, well, we want to make the links between the skills, the knowledge, and the learning outcomes. We want to develop a pipeline for learning outcomes, taking in mind the occupation and using the ESCO database. And starting with the occupation, we take from the database the different base functions of this occupation. Of course, the skills that are related with these functions, the knowledge that are related with these skills, and finally, the evidence and learning outcomes that are related with the skills and the knowledge. In this way, what we intend to connect the functions that are the tasks, the skills, and the knowledge together with the learning outcomes, and identifying the functions of the occupation scope and capturing, of course, the knowledge, skill, and competencies that are needed for a successfully perform the functions of each occupation. And finally, as was mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, we will give a recommendation for the European blueprint in which areas, in the areas, of course, of the generality of profiles across of sectors, in the level of management and operational, in the areas of energy efficiency, industrial symbiosis related skills, as part of the central elements of the job profiles, connecting the size skills and profiles with the European Union tools, integrating ESCO, industrial symbiosis and energy efficiency profiles, linking learning outcomes between size skill needs and bid systems, and professional levels to be combined with EQF levels. And of course, other recommendations that for the European blueprint will be the training issues. And well, after this presentation, it is the time for the open discussion with all attendants. We have 15 minutes. And please, Irina,
yes.
Your time again. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So now we are going to show you some questions that we have prepared. Please, I encourage you to answer because I think we need this feedback from you, mainly from industrial partners or companies. But of course, if you are not related, you are not working in a company, please answer considering those sectors that you are working with or you are much more related, okay? So with these questions, we will try to double check the information that we have gathered during these last 2 years regarding the all Spire-Sais partners or sectors, okay? Because some of the skills have been identified just through the expertise or experience from the partners or with some interviews, but I think if we want to obtain robust information or representativeness information, your feedbacks are going to be really important.
Irina, I don't know if you can hear me, but we've only got 30 seconds left.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
We have, okay. I thought we have only 4 minutes. Okay, okay.
It says remaining 20 seconds now, so I think he's closed the rooms.
They are closing, okay. So we are not going, okay, we can, perhaps we can throw one question, okay? The first question, Adrian, please.
I think the room's now closing.
Okay,
so rooms are closing now. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.